So essentially the rinse is the residue that's left over in the spoon. There's still some heroin in it. And she gave that to you so you wouldn't be sick.
Add a little bit of water and push the cotton around, and then I would just snort what was left over in the spoon.
You don't think that's weird? Like mom's offering me heroin?
No.
No.
I felt like she was helping me get out of a very abusive and shitty relationship.
Yeah.
And you were sick.
And I was
on top
sick.
of it.
I mean, we grew up really close. I felt like I was more of like we were a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like we always had each other's backs more than anything. And I have a younger brother too, so we just kind of parented him, and he learned to not do what we do.
And we're back.
Okay. I'm excited. We have Miriah Crissinger. Did I pronounce that right?
You did. Thank
with
you.
us today.
Hey.
Yes, we do.
I've met you once, and Aaron has known you for quite some time.
Yeah.
Year or two.
Year or two. I'd say it's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
So you guys have a little history. You've seen her journey, I guess.
I've seen bits and pieces of it,
Part of it,
and I've always been like, I like her charisma. So I was like, you know what? She's got a crazy story, I bet. So let's see what she has to say, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to be
here. Start at childhood. Tell us how you grew up and how you were raised and where you were raised.
I grew up in Mount Sterling, Ohio. It's kind of south of Grove City quite a bit. Anyway, my mom was like a party animal. So when I was like 7 years old, I would go to the bars and like kick it with her at the bars. And I would be rolling fatties and...
Rolling fatties?
Yeah.
Like at 7 years old?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would just be rolling joints for her and her friends, and they just thought it was like the greatest thing in the world that a 7-year-old could like roll joints. And then I was drinking like those Virgin Shirley Temples and just kicking it with her, and she always had me around, and I was just like her little sidekick. I just remember being like called Mommy's little sidekick or Mommy's little sidekick. So anyway.
Were you smoking those joints with her?
No.
You were just rolling them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's a 7-year-old do at a bar? Like, what is like to entertain you? What are you doing? Like playing pool or just sitting there?
Yeah.
You just liked the energy?
Yeah. Pretty much. And my mom just like, she was always really overprotective. Like, she didn't want to have me anywhere else. And, you know, because things have happened to her before when she was younger. So she was just really overprotective.
Like, don't leave my sight kind of mom?
Yeah. Just, you're safer with me kind of mom.
Come to the bar and roll some joints. You're safer with me.
That's a hell of a party trick, though. 7-year-old rolling a joint, I'd probably be like, "Whoa, that's cool."
So I guess that's one way to be
sweet.
And you know, back then there wasn't like a lot of like internet and stuff as much. It was just like hanging out with people. I don't know.
It was normal. Yeah.
Real interactions.
Normal interactions.
I thought so. Anyway, so when I was like 12 years old is when I started like throwing parties and stuff on the weekends and smoking weed and drinking and
You said 11?
12.
12.
Yeah. So that's kind of when my part came into play.
Who are you throwing parties for? Like people at school or?
Yeah. It was just like kick it at my house on the weekends type thing.
Your mom was cool with it, so it was like...
As long as she took your keys, she was cool with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was like, come over here, it's safe to drink here type house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as like she took the keys and, you know, everybody just kind of took care of themselves or each other. So.
Who's buying the booze and weed?
My mom, their mom.
Okay, so their parents.
Yeah.
All right.
Or usually we just had some anyway.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let me ask you what that experience was like for you at 12. Like, how did that make you feel?
It was fun.
To drink and smoke and party and...
It was fun. It made me feel like I was grown, you know.
We want to take a moment to announce an exciting partnership with K&B Clothing Line, a brand that truly aligns with our visions and dedication to recovery.
I started drinking at 13 years old, searching for belonging. By high school, I was lost in addiction, trading childhood for chaos. Alcohol made me feel accepted until it nearly took everything. I hit rock bottom more times than I can count. When I thought no one could help, I found people who never gave up on me. Sobriety isn't easy. It's a battle. But now I fight with love, with service, with purpose. I'm more than my past. This isn't just a sweatshirt. It's a symbol of survival, of strength, of never giving up. Wear it as a reminder. Every step forward is a victory. This is Mark's story.
Go to www.liveinspiredknb.com and use code GETAGRIP for 10% off your first purchase.
Like an adult.
Yeah. And, yeah, there would be kids, like, passed out in the bathroom, like, puking everywhere. My mom would be like, dude, get it together.
Lightweights.
Yeah. Yep.
Non-alcoholics.
But I always hung out, like, with the older crowd anyway, as it was, so. Anyway, so. I'm trying to think.
You going to school?
Right now?
Yeah, no, what's
No,
school
then.
like back in
Like,
at 12 years
were you
old?
going to
Oh.
school?
I went to Westfall, so it's, like, in the middle of a cornfield.
Oh, damn.
Right, but like, were you attending school? Were you like getting good grades and like?
Yeah, I was a straight A student. I was a cheerleader all through
Oh
school.
wow, really?
Yeah. I didn't really start fucking up until I was probably in high school.
Well, what do you you said fucking up. What does that mean to you?
I like skipping school, not
Okay.
taking my exams, not doing my homework, stuff like that. I
Why? Yeah,
stopped
why is
cheerleading.
that? Is that because?
Well, I got with a guy and he was kind of really abusive. I got with him when I was like 14 and he had like the fast car. He was like 19, but he had a fast car and he sold drugs and weed and stuff. So I was with him, and then when I moved in with him, everything just kind of got really abusive, and then it was complicated for me to like hide bruises and like
Did you move in with him at
scratches.
14?
I did.
Jeez.
What'd your mom say?
She didn't really want me to, but I did. I mean, it's fine.
Did you get emancipated, or are you just like, screw
No.
you, mom, I'm moving
No,
out?
I stayed over there a lot. Like, I still had a bedroom at my mom's. Like,
Just in case.
yeah.
Or
yeah,
for
I've
whenever.
always had a place at my mom's.
So how's the abuse come about? Like, when's the first time that happened? So you're dating him, everything. He's dreamy, right? Got the sweet car.
Sweet car, weed.
Yeah. And I'm like, when's that monster come out?
Pretty quickly. I always remember it happening in the car. It was like, we would just be hanging out or something or going somewhere, and he would just take the back of my head and bash it off the dash.
For no reason?
I don't know. And that's why he was out of his mind, literally out of his mind. Like, he had bipolar or something. Like, it was just, he would lose it.
Just over nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll never understand
If somebody
guys
looked
like
at
that.
me in a certain way.
It's your fault, and then you
yes,
get beat up for that.
Yeah, it was just, it really was awful. But
And I always wonder, why do girls stay with guys like that? Like, what's your thinking?
I was
like,
afraid.
to leave them?
Yeah.
Of what he would do if you did leave or something.
Yeah, and he told me, like, he always had guns and stuff. He was, you know. Anyway, so my brother went to school, and his school bus was right across, like, his bus stop or whatever was right across the street from his house. So he always told me that if I left him, then he would shoot my little brother.
Wow.
Or, yeah, I know, it's just really ate up.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
So how long did that go on?
Jesus.
Probably a couple years.
And nobody notices like you're beat up or black eye, or was he like
My
one
mom
of the...
did. She called the sheriff a couple times. All they did was take pictures because we were in a different county than where it had taken place, and because it didn't happen when, because they didn't call. I'm sorry. because they didn't call in the same county, then they just took pictures of it. I don't really know
That's
how
it
that
for-
stuff works. So, anyway,
And
So-
nothing ever happened. They never pressed, like, charges are never pressed, or just,
no.
you just got away with
No,
it.
yeah. Anyways, he would just kind of like put his hands on me and then be like, here's a Percocet.
Oh.
So then I would start doing those, and then I realized like I would be tired of fighting with him all the time, so I would go to my mom's, and I realized like when I would get to my mom's, I'd be sick. Like,
Oh, from the perks.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, I was really sick, and like puking and sweating and stuff.
So how old are you when you find out you're physically dependent on opiates?
I was probably like 16 or 17.
Jeez.
Boy, oh boy, man.
That's
Yeah.
young.
And you're still in high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped out my senior year because it was just too much. I felt like the girls that I went to
Damn.
school with were kind of judgmental, and they were
Well, it's like a
supposed to
small
be,
school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were a cheerleader, though.
Yeah.
So, like, I would think that you would be, you know, in that circle. Like,
I was until I wasn't, until like the partying came over it, and yeah, it was just embarrassing to have to put extra makeup on and ask for help, like, hey, help me contour this, help me hide this,
right.
I need help to fix this, why are you staying with him, I feel like I have to. And then it was just like, she's stupid at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You stayed with him all through high school?
for like a couple years.
Okay.
I ended up dropping out. Then I just, my mom, when I told her, I was like, Mom, I noticed like every time I'm with him and whenever I leave him and I come home, like I realize I just get so sick. And I'm like, I don't know why. And she's like, well, you need to tell me everything you've been doing with this boy and don't fucking lie to me. So I was like, all right, well, I crushed this up and I put it up my nose and, you know, and she's like, well, way to go, dumbass, you're on drugs now. So
And what's your color, like how many you doing? Like what's the,
A
you know,
lot.
your typical dose?
I lied on a job application and started working at Giuseppe's Pizza, and I was underage. And they told me that they needed like a work paper from school. So I went to school, got the paper, and I forged my mom's signature, and I started working there. And I did that and could afford my habit.
Okay.
But back then, it was like perk 5s, perk 10s.
Yeah.
And then when it became 30s, I realized like the sickness also got worse, and I was needing them more often.
Yep.
And then whenever I wasn't doing them, my mom, she was like, you know, now that you're on drugs, like, here's my rents. So that's when I found out my mom was on heroin.
Wow,
so,
that was
Whoa.
came out of nowhere. Holy shit.
So-
My wrist.
So, hold on. For our viewers, explain what a rinse is.
A rinse is like when somebody is an IV user, and what you do is you cook the dope up in a spoon, you put cotton in it, and then you pull it up through the syringe to make sure that you don't have like clumps or whatever, and that way it's liquefied and it's able to go up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can save like the residue in the spoon.
Okay.
and just
for
throw some
later,
water on it.
So
just-
essentially, the rinse is the residue that's left over in the spoon. There's still some heroin in it, and she gave that to you so you
Yep,
wouldn't be
just
sick.
add a little bit of water and push the cotton around, and then I would just snort what was left over in the
water.
spoon.
You don't think that's weird? Like mom's offering me heroin?
No.
No.
I
not
felt
at
like
all.
she was helping me get out of a
Yeah.
very abusive and shitty relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were sick
And I was
on
dope
top
sick.
of it.
I mean, we grew up really close. I felt like I was more of like we were a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I felt like we always had each other's backs more than anything. And I have a younger brother too, so we just kind of parented him, and he learned to not do what we do.
So he never got into the
Mm-mm.
extra
Nope.
curriculars. Good
Nope,
for him,
nope,
man.
nope.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
for him.
So how long
He's got
does
his CDLs and everything. He's doing great.
Good.
how long does the abusive relationship last? Like
Couple-
when's it? What's
couple
the
years.
breaking point in that? How do you get out of there?
I I just started doing dope.
I'm just not caring.
So, like,
Yeah.
when you went to your mom's, you got that rinse, and then you moved straight to heroin.
Yep. Yep.
And you broke it off with the guy.
Yep.
Okay. Once you start doing heroin, how are you using it?
I was snorting it. Yeah.
What kind of heroin were you getting back then? Tar.
Tar. You just mud puddling.
Mud puddle.
Oh god.
Do you want to explain what a mud puddle is for our viewers as well?
Sure. A mud puddle is pretty much like when you have a chunk of dope in the spoon and you just move water around and you can snort it, and it's liquefied.
You just
can
snort
burn
the
some
water,
Tastes so
basically.
horribly. It's such a bad taste. God. So now you're just you ever go to the needle?
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually went to the
Yeah.
needle. Okay.
Yep.
So you're mud puddling at home with mom.
Yep. And then it was just like we just started hustling together. We started making trips to the store. We started.
When you say trips to the store,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Like, I was in high school, so I would have a book bag.
Oh, you go steal shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she would be behind me, and she would unzip the book bag and throw, like, our dope man did, like, he had a kid, or like a baby.
Oh,
like an actual
baby
so-
formula and
Yeah,
stuff.
so we had Similac for days.
That's so weird. Me and my mom used to steal shit together too.
Yeah.
So it was like, we were a team, just like you said.
Yeah, and we went to Home Depot, and those, like, little metal
Yep.
elbows are, like, 30-something, 40-something,
Yep.
60-something dollars.
That's where you just take them and return them.
Without a receipt.
Yeah, you could do that back
Yeah.
then.
Is that
you
back
know?
in the day when they had the machine where they give you the card and then you
Mm.
can go cash the card in at the the Lulu machine?
Yeah, it was at Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle. Yeah. Damn.
Those were the days.
So like as dope fiends, we become like selfish, right? So is there any like weird altercations between you and your mom? Like maybe one day you didn't have money?
No,
No, never.
no.
Damn.
Really?
No, we would share everything.
Because me and my mom got into it numerous times over
Who's getting
over
what?
who's
Yeah,
getting
how
what.
much,
yeah. Depending
Really?
on the money, you know what I mean?
So no fights ever like, well, I did most of the work here, so I should get more of the dope.
No, I mean, I felt like she should have more dope than me. You know, she did most of it, or like copped most of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she knew where to get it, and I
Walk
just had
us-
such a low tolerance.
Walk us through you started to tell us about going into the grocery store and stealing the stuff, but walk us through, like, how would you guys do that on a regular, like, what would that look like on a regular basis? I know you mentioned the backpack, but
Yeah.
walk us through it.
Well, I would walk in with a backpack, and I would put something like a book on the bottom. That way it was kind of fluffed out. And we would just walk in and go to the formula and put it in. Like, she would just walk behind me and get close to me and just...
drop.
Yep, drop it in there.
Are you guys in and out, or are you guys like
In and out.
in and out? Okay.
Smart.
I think that's the
Yeah.
best way to do
Smart,
it. Yeah.
dude.
It is. Yeah.
Ever get caught?
One time, we were at Dick's, and we were stealing underwear
Oh.
for the guy.
You were stealing from Dick's?
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I know. It was a dangerous game. They were on it. So,
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
yeah, we walk through the doors, and the beeper goes off, and this guy takes off running after us, and I'm like, oh, shit. So we're just running across the parking lot. Like, and Mom's like, where did I park? So she takes
Where'd I
off
park?
one way. I'm like, Mom, we're over here. It was so
That's a
funny.
shitty time to forget where you parked.
Yeah.
So what do? They slap you on the wrist, like don't come back. What? You get
They
caught?
didn't catch us, no.
Oh, you didn't get caught.
No.
Damn. All right. So the
Never.
one
Still
time you
won't go
almost
there.
got caught, you didn't get caught.
Yeah.
Never got indicted. Wow.
No.
Good for you.
Wow.
Usually people get
Undefeated.
lazy, and then
He's undefeated
undefeated, man.
at
Yeah.
shoplifting.
So, that was just like the normal. And then we would go to, it was normal. It was just like we would go kick it at the dope man's house, or we had one
How-
homeless guy, and his name was, we called him Tent Man Mark, and he was on, I think like Yale or something,
Oh.
in a tent on railroad tracks. And it was just like, we would just go kick it there. Like, he had good dope, so we would just hang out and we would get free dope. Just to be
From the
there.
homeless guy.
Yeah, yeah. He was so cool, though. He was like...
What was his name? Tip Man Mark?
Tent Man Mark.
Tent man.
Tent man,
That's
Mark.
what we called him. Yeah.
And at this young age, you're never like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah, how
most
old
of
are
my
you?
people are
I
living
was
there.
probably like 17 at that
Jeez,
time.
so you're not even
You're
an
still
adult
not
yet.
I was
even
like
18.
probably, actually maybe even younger, like 16. That was just
God.
the normal for a little while.
And does your mom have an apartment or a house? Like, what's the deal there?
At that point we had a house, in Mount Sterling. It was like a double. There was one, there was like a different room on the top of the building, and then ours was on the bottom.
How are you guys paying for it?
Hustling.
Just, damn.
She
Yeah,
didn't work.
We had some. Yeah, she's always worked. She
Okay.
worked third shift at like a warehouse and stuff,
Gotcha.
and I worked at a pizza shop mostly.
Right.
And eventually, we started working at TJ's together, TJ's Country Place,
Mm.
and we
God,
made
you even worked together.
Oh yeah, we
Wow.
did everything together, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. We had each other's backs. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So when did shit start spiraling out of control, right?
For me, it was like when my mom went to prison is when I was like, I can't do it by myself anymore. And she went to prison when I was like 18 or 19. I was like 18.
Oh, that had to have been devastating.
Oh, dude.
So what'd she do?
I think she dated like some old man, and he said that she stole his credit card because she didn't fuck him, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think she did it. Like, I was there for that whole experience, and the guy was really upset that he didn't get his favor done. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like his retaliation.
So he does what? He calls the police and says what?
He said that she stole his credit card.
And they just fucking charged her with it?
Yeah, well, there were pictures of her and me at the ATM.
Oh.
And because
Okay.
he was like an older man, they believed him.
But did you guys ever take money?
Yeah, we went
okay.
to like Fort Rapids, or
Okay.
it was like.
So you did use his credit card?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
he had told her to.
Oh, so
Like, I
okay.
was
Then
there
he
for
just
that whole
got
conversation.
Flipped on her.
butthurt because
Okay.
she's not
It
putting
was,
out.
Yeah, it was at Great Wolf Lodge. Actually, it wasn't Fort Rapids, but it was at Great Wolf Lodge, and yeah, we were just having a good time or whatever, and then he was like, go over here, pull this money off. I think it was like only $200 or something, but she got charged with some type of fraudulent thing.
Like fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she go to the feds?
Mm-mm.
Just what
It
regular
was just
regular
a couple
prison.
$100
How long she do for that?
a year.
A year.
Mhm.
Is that her first time being in trouble with the law?
Couldn't have been.
No.
No, I
don't
said
think
there's no
so.
way. They're just sending her.
No.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, I'm going to go see my PO. And we had a room at the Motel 6 behind TJ's.
Mm.
And we had got a room for the night. Sometimes it would be like cheaper that way than to drive back if we got a room for a couple days, since we worked right there. Anyway, so she's like, she wakes me and my brother up, and she's like, I love you guys. I gotta go report and see my PO. And we were like, okay. And she was like, well, I might not come back. And I was like, really? And I was like, you're gonna be back or whatever. And yeah, she didn't come back.
Wow.
And then how is she on probation and doing drugs? How's she skimming by?
Not dropping.
Oh, okay. So she knew her time was up.
Mm.
And then I was gonna ask you too, like during these like adventures when you're underage, like you ever had any like creepy encounter? Because like street dudes are creepy, right? Like you never had any like weird dudes or any weird incidents happen?
They would like definitely look at me weird, but my mom would not allow that. My mom was really overprotective about that stuff. Like anytime I talked to her, she would be like, if I was away from her, she would be like, did anybody touch you? Did anybody say anything to you? And she was just like drilling me, and I'm like, no, Mom, like
Damn.
nothing happened.
Well, and that's fair though after that relationship she was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
But she was like that even before that. Like when I was a kid,
Right.
I remember her like grabbing my hands and looking at me like, did anything happen? And I would be like, no.
So when she goes to prison,
Ugh.
it's just you and your brother.
And a guy that I was with. Yeah.
And that, okay.
A different guy.
You're dating a different guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the move? Because you still have the house, right, in Mount Sterling?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens?
I think my grandma took care of that part, like the
house?
living situation. I just pretty much took care of my brothers for as long as I could. Then it kind of got like impossible. I started working at like a Subway place and like the food place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thought you meant the train station.
Yeah. Anyway.
We figured it was the food place.
Yeah, I pieced it together.
So I was working there and taking care of my brother, and it was just getting too hard. Like I wasn't able to do my habit and that, and I didn't really know like how to hustle without my mom, and I didn't really want the guy that I was with to. He was a crybaby, so like whenever he would get sick or anything, it was just like he was fucking impossible
to deal
and I'm
with.
like, dude, get up! Like we're on a mission.
Yeah, we gotta figure
Yeah,
something out
Stop
here.
being such a bitch.
Yeah, and he would just cry. I can't. I'm sick. I'm like, get over yourself. We're all fucking sick.
Yeah, dope's you're dope. You know what you're doing. Why
Yeah.
are you crying about it when you're dope sick?
Yeah.
You're in the game. Like you're in the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then eventually I just took him to my grandma's and I told her like I can't do it anymore. So then I was on my own, and then I tried to continue to get high, and then I just got exhausted from it. So, I gave up.
Gave up. What do you mean? Like went to treatment?
I went to my grandma's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I went to my grandma's. Sorry.
And does
Good.
grandma know you're like on drugs at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, she
Is
did.
She's cool with it?
No.
She's never tried to like get you to go to treatment or, say, hey, I
Yeah,
noticed.
she tried to get me to go to detox. Anytime I would go to detox, I would have to go to like Talbot Hall. And I went there like when I was 17 once, and my mom had to do my assessment with me. And then at this point in time, when my mom was in prison, my grandma, she, asked me to come home, and then she was just like, no, don't come home. And then I just stayed out for a minute, and then I got sick of it. I couldn't do it anymore, like physically. And that guy was getting on my nerves, and I just went to my grandma's. And then had to detox, lay it out. Like
At your grandma's house?
Yeah, she didn't take me to a detox. I just had to tough it out.
So
that
cold
time.
turkey. How long did that go on for?
A minute.
You did it though. Did you get clean at your grandma's? Like
Yeah, I got clean. I got my license. I got my GED.
Holy shit.
I got a job at Staples Distribution.
That's so rare
That really is.
to like cold turkey.
I couldn't imagine.
I couldn't do it
Yeah, I think it was
on the
like
street
a lesson
like that.
being like, it was supposed to be like a lesson being taught,
Did you want to do it, or were you just doing it so you could stay there?
Both.
Combination.
Like I was really tired of it,
Mm.
and I didn't know how to do things without my mom,
Mm.
and
Did you ever think to yourself like, well, I'll just take this break till mom comes home, and then when mom comes home, we'll get back to the old ways?
yeah, I had thoughts like that, a lot, and then she got out, and she was able to stay clean for a little while, and I had relapsed right before she had got out because I was just ready to go back out. And
Did you lose the job at Staples?
oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Get fired or quit?
I quit because I think I knew I was gonna get fired.
I knew that. I knew she
I
was
think
going
I
to
was
say that.
high. Yeah, I was high on the
I
job.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
God.
It was a really hard job too, so like trying to do that, I was stuck in the paper mod, so like everything was like 40 pounds.
Oh.
Why
yeah.
they put me there?
Just
And I'm
lifting that
so
shit
small.
all
What?
day.
What is that? paper mod?
Yeah.
What
it's
is
like
that?
an aisle of like, you know those big boxes of like printer paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have to like sling those around all day.
Oh, or you just put it on pallets?
Just that?
Yeah. Like taking them off the pallets. I was and then like putting them on the rollers.
Why would they have you do that?
I don't know, but I learned I can't work while I'm high there.
Wow.
Can't
So-
work where you're sick either.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like a nightmare.
Jesus.
So mom gets out. Is she like gung ho recovery when she gets out? Like some people when they get out of prison.
No.
No.
I don't think she like did all the like the meetings or whatever. Like she did what was required of her, and then she just went back home. She brought home a convict, and I think their way of staying sober was like MAT or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Methadone, Suboxone, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
What's your take on that?
I don't have a lot of issues with it. Once upon a time I used to until it helped me, you know. So I find it more helpful. This time around I kind of needed to use it after Aaron passed away. I just kind of felt like I was going to go back out, and I got on that shot. And
Was it the Sublocade?
Yeah.
Brixadi.
What the hell's that?
It's a different form of Sublocade.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
See, it's fun. I asked you that question because I used to like hate it openly, but when my mom passed away, it was very clear to me that if she had been on Suboxone or methadone or something like that, she'd still be alive.
Right.
So that's when I switched and was like, all right, I get it now. Like I get
Yeah.
the harm reduction now. I get MAT now and why it's there and why it works.
Yeah.
You know.
It's I think it's helpful. I mean, it's better than dope.
Yeah.
And it's
Sure.
prescribed, and you know. Yeah.
But it's keeping you alive. Either way it goes, you know.
Yeah.
It's giving you a chance.
Yeah, and after I lost Aaron, I just kind of felt like my cushion was ripped out from under me. So back to the Staples thing. I ended up quitting there. I had relapsed with that same guy, and I think I go back to TJ's, and it's like easy to get money from that place.
You cash out every night, right? Like tips.
You get to keep your tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they pay you out of card tips.
Oh, okay.
And then also we got hip to like taking money out of the register and doing that whole thing.
Got hip to that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Just taking it out for like? How's
Just
that
if
work?
they were paying with cash, just not ringing it in.
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
I've
How
done
could
that.
it-
A
cash.
server is the best job for a drug addict, man. Like when I worked at our place that we worked at together, the server was like, bro, where was this when I was like
Yeah.
getting high? I could have
Yeah.
lived like a junkie king.
Yeah.
How much would you take from the register when you was
Not a lot.
just enough, like a 20 or like a like 40
few
bucks,
Few 20s.
Few 20s maybe.
couple 20s.
It depends a lot on what you got going on too. If there's not a lot of people, maybe just
You're-
120.
you
If
might
you
be
got like
screwed,
a
yeah.
whole section for the whole day, then you're good. You can take $100 and they won't notice. You know
On
what I mean?
top of what you're getting paid to work there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never find out about you? Never got hip to the scheme?
No, but I do know that they knew I was on drugs because I would shoot up in the bathroom. And one time I nodded out and my head was like in my lap and my arm was like on the ground
Where?
in the TJ's bathroom.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my coworkers had to crawl under the stall and get
Oh,
me.
so they like found you in there.
Yeah.
Damn.
But she just kind of was like, girl, come on, get it together. And I was like, okay.
So you still have the needle hanging out, or?
Oh,
you-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
God.
whole kit was out.
Damn.
Everything. Yeah, it fell on the floor.
So you didn't even get the needle out of your arm.
No.
You went out
I
that
went
quick.
out, yeah.
Damn.
Imagine you're the coworker, right? Like, where the hell's Miriah? Like, her tables are asking for her. You go in the bathroom, she's slumped out, and
Yeah, she had to crawl under because I was in like the handicap stall.
Yeah. Because you need your room.
You gotta have space.
She started pulling my pant leg, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm just tired.
Just tired.
Yeah,
I'm just tired.
I'm good.
Taking a massive dump and just got
pulled
tired.
the needle out of my arm.
She just kind of looked at me like, come on. Yeah. Shit happens.
So did she tell on you?
No.
No. Good for
No.
her, man.
She's a pretty solid person. But she also did drugs too. But her drugs were just like
Different
drugs, yeah.
Yeah, different kinds. So I think she already knew beforehand what we were doing.
Yeah.
So my mom's like working at TJ's. This is after she gets out.
Oh, okay.
Her and her convict boyfriend are working at TJ's. So
everybody's working at TJ's.
Yeah. Why you call him the convict boyfriend? Just because you met in prisons? That's
yeah,
a
because
sweet
he
nickname.
was just head to toe tattoos.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just tell he was an ex-con.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See him coming a mile away.
Yep. And we just kind of worked there for a little while. Then we all start getting high together.
It's so interesting to hear her say, like, yeah, bro, I worked at TJ's and made a ton of money. Like, you would never think that working at TJ's would equate to making a ton of money.
Oh, I've made the most money there.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild. That's wild.
And then, like, this is a weird question. Are the other, like, are you attractive while you're using? Like, are you, like, you know, because you're a pretty girl, are you pretty then, too? Or are you, like...
Not when I'm on ice.
Okay.
When I'm on ice, oof. So bad. You know, it's really bad.
Not when you're on
You get
ice,
all, like, super skinny and twacked out.
Yeah.
So how do you, like, what happens after that? So you're all back together, the Brady Bunch is back together, getting high?
I start, so my mom and this guy get clean again, and they do it by doing Suboxones or whatever. They would just shoot each other in the ass with, like, Xanax. And
wait, what?
through the withdrawals, like, whenever you're
Wait, hold on. How do you shoot someone in the ass with Xanax? Because you can't shoot up Xanax.
Doesn't it get all clumpy and
yes, you can.
sticky and wet? Or you know what I mean? It's like the water just absorbs into the powder, doesn't it?
I don't think you can shoot benzos, can you?
I mean, there's a will, there's a way, right?
I mean, I guess you can, but...
I've tried it once with a Valium and never had
That's what I'm
luck,
saying.
Yeah.
I think you're... Yeah.
So, I mean, there's probably a trick.
They would muscle
the blue
pop
ones.
benzos.
The little blue ones.
Oh,
The 1 milligram Xanax, yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. Yeah. Learn something new every day.
Yep, so,
So they're on Suboxone, muscle popping Xanax to help get through those like
the dope
with the shitty withdrawals.
Yeah, and
okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You can shoot Suboxone too. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
the worst.
I did not. But
yeah.
it sucks so fucking bad.
The most terrible experience
I
ever.
don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, it was.
Oh God.
I'm trying to think of where I'm leaving off here. So, I think this is like around the time that I get with Aaron.
Okay.
And I find out that he's on meth, and I'm like, well, if I just do that,
you're good.
Then then I won't be on dope anymore. So the first time I ever did meth, though, I shot it. That was insane.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? How did it feel?
I got really hot. My heart like started pounding, and I started sweating. And I'm just like, holy shit. It's that kind of feeling, like a holy shit feeling. Like, am I going to die?
Yeah,
I felt like I was going to die.
I told, like, the first time I did it, was like every human experience you can experience in a 30-second span. Hot, cold, piss my pants. Yeah, it was like
that's
fucking,
what I was thinking.
It was
almost,
nuts, man.
Yeah. Almost like you pee your pants or something. It's just like, So I was doing that, and he's like, if you're going to shoot it, you can't be around me. It's too dangerous. You're putting my business at risk. And he was a drug dealer.
He was smoking it.
Yeah.
He was smoking it. The meth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I guess I left that part out. He was a drug dealer. He was a drug dealer for about like 15 or 16 counties. Like I had to sit down earlier
Wow.
and count it out.
So he's a
And
big boy drug dealer.
for our area, yeah.
I love the irony in that too. Is like, yeah, you can't do this. This is too dangerous. As like I'm smoking and selling drugs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't want it to be a hot spot. Like he doesn't want me to fall out or die or
Yeah.
something in his bathroom and then
Okay.
him have to do something about it.
Okay, so you just stop the dope and go straight to the meth.
Mhm.
You're able to do that.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah. I did have like hot sweats and stuff like that, and I definitely had like some stomach issues, like diarrhea,
Mm.
but
But you would just do meth and you just kind of push through.
yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wanted to be with him that bad. I don't know how or why, but I just felt like he was my person.
And then why is that? Like, what about him is like, oh, this guy, he's like sells drugs, he does drugs, like he's the one.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
He was a really kind, good person. He took care of me. He took care of my family if they needed help. When my dad passed away, he was there within 20 minutes. He was 45 minutes away and stopped to pick my mom up. And like, then I was just like, wow, he does care about me. You
Right.
know what I mean? And we were just together. We were together all the time. He was hilarious. But he didn't know he was funny, you know, so. But, yeah, it was a good time then. We had like this little red house in Pankosburg, and
Where? I'm
I say,
sorry.
where are these towns, man? I've never heard of
Where?
these.
What is it?
Pankosburg.
Pankosburg?
Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Do you guys know where Deer Creek is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There, literally. So.
So you're like out there,
Mhm.
middle of fucking nowhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, and that was just the thing, and we would just get in the car and go drop bags off, and then go re-up. So.
That was it.
Mhm. It
Then-
was just all the time.
And then what happens?
He ends up going to prison.
Mm.
When he goes to prison, it's for like drug trafficking the first time. And he goes for a year, and I was like, oh crap.
Happened again.
Yeah, and I have pretty big shoes to fill. Like I learned how to like pay bills and stuff a lot through him, and like I could take it over. You know what I mean? I had his phone. So that's what I tried to do, and it didn't work out good.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
So you know the plugs too that he's getting it from?
Yeah.
All that?
So
Man.
why
were
did
together for a long
why
time.
didn't it work out?
I ended up going to jail too, so I'm on my way to re-up, and I have a girl with me, and we stop at the Kmart in Grove City, and she goes in and she's stealing shit. I'm passed out in the car because I'm exhausted from like selling and like being awake for fucking days and like all of this, and
Yep.
she goes in, she starts stealing shit, and she gets caught up by the cops. And she's like, you know what? There's a drug dealer in my car. Yeah. I'm
That's
like, what the
dirty.
Anyway, so I get woke up by Grove City Police banging on my fucking window. I'm like tripping. I don't even like I hear them, but my eyes aren't opening because I was that tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I opened my eyes, they were like, unlock the door now before I bust it out. And I'm like, oh, God.
Jesus.
So I hit the unlock button, and they ripped the door open, pull me out, like, so aggressive. And this is my first time ever being in trouble at this point.
How old are you now at this point?
20.
Okay.
God, still a youngin'.
Yeah, I was like 21. It was in... Actually, I might have been 22.
Okay.
It's like 5 years ago.
Do you have drugs in the car?
Or 4 years. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on my way to rehab. I had 2 sets of scales.
Ooh.
I had so many bags, like baggies, like
Separate.
big boxes of baggies, and then
Okay.
little tiny cute ones with aliens and hearts and shit. Dude, and then I had a kit, like my heroin kit.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
at that point, I relapsed back on what I want to do. while he's locked up.
Yep.
So, yeah, I had fentanyl, like folded, like pre-folds, and
Damn.
I had ice, like probably an ounce, I think.
What did they charge you with?
An F3 aggravated drug trafficking, an F3 aggravated possession, and an F5 drug possession.
Golly. So
Yeah.
you're in the workhouse for a little
You're
while.
going to jail.
I wasn't in there very long. I was in there for probably a couple days, and I had a bond. It was the first time I ever got in trouble.
Yeah.
So, my mom's like, I'm not paying your bond unless you go live with your dad, because obviously you're fucking up, and I can tell. She's clean. She's on subs or whatever. Clean. But, she bonds me out. My dad picks me up from jail, and he was pissed. Like, he wouldn't even give me a cigarette. And I was like, Dad, stop being like this. But it was like 3 a.m, and he had to work at 6.
Yeah, I'd be
He was-
fucking pissed
Yeah, I'd be a
too.
little steamed too.
Yeah.
And my whole life, I've always put on like the daddy's little princess. I could do no wrong. I've, made good grades, and I was a cheerleader. Like, I kept that front for as long as I could. And, dude, that was like the worst.
So Dad didn't know this whole time that your life was going down the shitter at all?
No.
Man, how much was
No.
your bond?
200, 2,500 or 250.
Okay, so
Cash.
damn.
Yeah.
So 250, so
or no,
25,000.
500 cash.
Man,
Okay.
so it was only
So
$5,000?
$5,000 bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. First
That's-
time.
Yeah, first time. But
That's
like,
probably why.
I don't
Man.
know. And I was sobbing when I went to court. Like, I remember that.
that's what
I was like,
happens.
I'll never do it again.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you bond out.
I have
Do
a
you
court
try
date.
to get clean? I mean, are you like,
Yeah,
holy
I
fuck?
stayed with my dad. I didn't work a program or anything, but I stayed with my dad, and I was able to stay clean there because I never wanted him to be, like, disappointed. And I knew that I messed up, and so I stayed clean until Aaron got out. And when Aaron got out of prison, then I went back to him. So,
Did you ever have
But-
any problems in jail?
mm-mm.
Nothing.
No. Actually, one time, a Somalian, she had, like, really chapped lips, and I offered her, like, a packet of the,
The jail?
yeah, and I'm like, here, put it on your lips, and she got mad about it, and I just kind of laughed at her, and I was like, okay, well.
Sorry.
Did she try to fight you or anything?
No, she said, don't do that to me again, or I'll fuck you up. She had a really heavy accent, and I was like, all right. I smiled at her,
Fair
and I was
enough.
like, I'd love to see that happen,
Damn.
but
Oh, shit,
I never
okay.
really had any issues other than that. I've watched a lot of fights in jail, though. Those girls are crazy off
Yeah.
the chain.
Yeah.
They are.
And I would laugh at everybody. It was funny.
It is
one time-
entertaining, is it not?
Yeah, one time this huge girl goes and fights this little girl, and the little girl starts beating her ass.
I love that. Yeah.
Dude, and she gets, like, knocked out pretty much and shits herself. Like, diarrhea, like, yellow baby shit.
Oh.
This in the day room?
No.
This is
In the-
before cameras or after cameras?
After. But,
Oh,
like,
so there
on
were
the
cameras, okay. So this
So
is
in the
back
bed
the
area.
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the, everybody's
Yeah.
like, hit the back
Yeah,
wall.
The
you
back
know,
wall.
whatever.
Yep.
So, that's
Shit her
what they
pants.
did.
I love the David Goliath story.
Oh, yeah,
And,
she sat in it for a minute. We were all like, what the fuck? I run to the day room. I'm gagging because I don't like funky.
The sm-
the smell of diarrhea.
well, it already
shit.
smells terrible in there anyway, so
Yeah, well,
add some diarrhea and you've got,
yeah, that was the icing on the cake. I was like,
yeah,
Excuse me.
goodness gracious.
So Aaron gets back out of prison,
Yep, I
Yeah.
go back.
and then what? You guys go back to using immediately?
Mm-hmm.
What about your court stuff?
I was gonna get clean before I had to drop for my PO.
That was the plan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, how'd that go?
it didn't
Okay.
go very good. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, it didn't go good. I was able to do that for a little while, and then I
Like give
got
them clean urines.
yeah, like stop before I have to go
Yeah.
in. And then I started to get super lazy with it, and I
Yeah.
started to do fentanyl again, and yeah, it was just sloppy. So then I just stopped caring, and I was like violating, so I would go for 30 days and then get out, and then go for 30 days and get out. And then I got court ordered to do treatment, so that's when I went to the Lighthouse. Good program. I just wasn't ready.
So after all that, you just got go to treatment. I mean, like probation violations, but after that, you didn't do any like prison jail
Aaron
time.
also bought me an attorney, and I feel like that kind of helped too.
That,
And
sure, yeah.
and yeah, I feel like that actually helped a lot. That, and I was able to speak on my own behalf. So I just I was like, Your Honor, I fucked up, and well, not like exactly like that.
I have
but was
I
just
have a
like,
drug problem, and
Yeah, I was just like, I would like the opportunity to redeem myself, pretty much, and he gave me a few chances.
yeah,
Thank God, and
because those charges are pretty serious.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy
I mean,
charges.
wrong judge or probation officer, and you violate once, you might be going to prison. You know what I mean? Like, so to violate a couple times and then on the third time get treatment is amazing.
Yeah, it's luck.
I had a total of at least 10 probation violations.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Man.
I had weed in my system apparently at one time. I'm like, how? Like, it had to be on a plate or something that I snorted something off of. Like, how? I don't understand. But I just had multiple dirty urines or whatever.
10 of them.
Yeah.
So now you're going to treatment,
Yeah.
and how does that go for you?
It was really hard. My dad passed away right before I went to treatment.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
He died in a motorcycle accident. It was really, really sudden, and I had so much guilt and shame
Yeah, I can't imagine.
eating me alive because I was daddy's princess. I could do no wrong, and he was just gone like that. And I was at his house waiting on him to get there.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was a terrible experience.
Yeah, the opportunity to like get it together and show him, you never got.
I did for a second, only when I was living with him, and then I ran away and got high again, and then he died. Yeah. And
tough.
then whenever that happened and he passed away, I was living with my mom, and she had a heart attack at work. And when she hit the ground, she fractured her skull.
Is she dead too?
No.
No.
No,
Oh.
she's alive still, thank God, but that all was going on the same year.
At the same, and
2021.
you're like going to treatment. They're about to go to treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It was like 2021 and 2022 were just kind of really hard.
Man.
Yeah, so my dad was gone, and that was like,
And that's devastating. It's
Yeah.
the whole thing is devastating. God.
yeah.
So what do you do? Like what
Stay in
what
treatment. I stayed in treatment for a while. I stayed in treatment, and I ended up relapsing because, I was one of those people that had to like work their way up. I had to do like 6 months relapse, 9 months relapse, 12 months relapse, 9 months relapse. Like, I had to do
Damn.
a back and forth.
You had a
of thing.
year at one point and
I did.
relapsed.
When I was living with my dad, I had a year of sobriety. Yeah.
But no like program, so to speak, behind it.
Not at that
Just
time.
you were just dry.
Yeah. And then, yep. And he passed away. The funeral was also terrifying. I was high.
At the
too,
funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I don't blame you one bit.
I literally didn't want to be alive anymore. So I would just get as high or as fucked up as I could. But that's kind of like, I just stopped caring about like life at that point, and it was just like drugs and fuck the world. So I get another PV. My
Is this around the time where we meet, like in this area?
yeah.
Okay.
I start. I go to treatment
Yeah.
Lighthouse, and I stayed clean for like 9 months, and then I'm able to talk my probation officer into letting me get a place with my best friend. And she's like, I don't really like the idea. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't want me to, then I won't. And I'll just keep, doing what I'm doing. I was working at the Roadhouse. I was doing meetings, the ones that were required. I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't do any programming other than what I was required to do.
Right.
And yeah, so my my best friend and I get an apartment together, and we move in together, and we I
Alright.
tell Aaron that I was like, I'm not able to be with you anymore. Like, I can't, like, we'll be together without being together, but like, I can't live with you anymore. Living with you, I relapse every time.
Yeah.
I
Makes
need you to
total
get
sense.
clean. Like, we're gonna have to take space until you're able to go to treatment yourself. And pretty much her and I get a place together. Aaron comes over periodically, and one time, we just look at each other and we're like, all right, let's go get high. It'll help us unpack
Oh,
faster.
you were both addicts. You and your best friend.
Yep. We
Oh,
met in treatment.
Oh,
Yeah. We met in
that's why your
treatment.
probation officer didn't love the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense now.
Yep. So,
Okay.
So we relapsed together, and we were driving to get drugs, sobbing, because we did not want to get high, but we.
It's like
felt
autopilot.
You couldn't do
It's the
anything about
It's
it.
the craziest shit ever. And I know what you're talking about, the look. Like when you looked at each other
Yeah.
and you knew, like, and you don't have to say a word, but it's just like, and you're like, and then you're just like autopiloting to the dope
We
land.
immediately got in the
It's
car.
fucking, it's crazy. Like, you shouldn't go, but you can't stop.
You can't
Yeah.
not go.
Like, you can't, you can't not go.
I swear to God, it was like there was a third person as her bottom half driving us there.
Yeah,
Because, like,
it's
we
insane.
were both literally tears down our faces. We're going to fuck up. Like, we can't, we're doing this, but we don't want to. But it was just, it was crazy.
What'd you go? What'd you guys go and cop? Would you get meth or did you get some heroin?
We got meth.
Okay.
Then we got, we did meth and alcohol for a little while, and we were able to, pass our drug tests in treatment. And
You
we would take, like, these little hotel shampoo bottles and put urine in them, and
would get clean urine from
clean
someone.
urine. Yeah.
Were you buying it from somebody, or that they were
No,
just
it was just a friend.
they were just nice enough to
They
give
didn't
it to you?
Yeah, they didn't want us to get kicked out of the program.
So you're still doing
Right on.
programming while you're living with her. You're still going to groups.
We're in
and
IOP. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and we get the shampoo bottles, put some foil on it, wrap a couple Band-Aids around so it didn't cut us up down there, and we would just shove it in, pop it with our nail, and pass the test. So
you put foil over the top of it so that you, with your nail,
Yeah, just-
you could pop it and then it would just come out.
Yep.
And it would sound natural, I'm sure, coming out. And
yeah, it was just a little bit of pee. It would just go right into the cup.
Do the trick.
wow,
Yep.
how long did you get away with that for?
A while.
Really?
Yeah, a few months.
Damn.
Yeah. Until, like, I literally couldn't take it anymore to even go to work. I would cry because I felt like I get really shameful. I feel bad if I lie to somebody. Like, if something bad happens, like, I just feel terrible. So I felt bad for what was going on.
The guilt got to you.
Yes, very bad. So anyways, we keep doing that for a while. We do the ice and then we do the alcohol to come down, and then we just drink a lot of water, try to flush ourselves out, but by then we already get high again, and we get high on benzos. So now we have Xanax in our system.
Yeah,
That's long boy.
That
Sit there for a minute.
Takes a minute.
Yeah, it really does. And then we were doing Xanax, and then we just went right back to the fentanyl. And, you know, I was smoking fentanyl, and she was doing the same thing. And I go to see my PO, and I'm visibly rocked out of my mind. Like, I don't remember going at all. I woke up in jail. Like,
So you went there completely barred out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just
Yes.
as just a bunch of Xanax.
Yep. And we took my car, and she dropped me off, and she's like, Miriah, you really shouldn't go in there because you're really too fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean I'm fucked up? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
got
fucked
when you're
up.
on Xanax, you're like, no, I'm not fucked up. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You think like you're the king of the world, you know? So I go in there, and she cuffs me up like
Immediately.
She already knew. I guess one of my urine samples at the treatment center had been dirty.
So you were
Somehow.
screwed either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So yep, and I go to jail. I'm in there for 30 days. And my mom my friend calls me, and she's like, "Hey, I need you to come home." And she's like crying so hard, and she's like, "I can't do this without you. We're gonna lose our place." And I'm
You
like,
called her from jail, and she's saying this?
She called me.
Okay.
She called me from jail. Or she called me while I'm in jail, and she's like, "I can't do this anymore without you. Like, we're gonna lose our place." And I'm like, "Okay, well, it is what it is. Like, I can't help you from here."
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, and yeah, so sorry, I just had a thought pop into my head. But when I was in jail, she had overdosed and passed away in our apartment. And it was really devastating, but it was also not real for a minute because I was in jail and I wasn't there when it happened.
And you
so.
can't do anything about it. Like,
Yeah. I wasn't able to see her or anything before she went.
how much longer did you have in jail? Like, how much longer did you have to
30
stay?
days. Every time that I went to jail, it was just 30 days. 30 days.
I mean, how
30
much
days.
how much more time did you have? Like when she died, how long did you sit in there after that?
Like, she probably died within a week of me being in there.
No shit, that
Yeah.
quick.
It was very quick. I still had like 3 weeks left. Yeah.
Damn.
And that was really hard to deal with. And
Yeah, you got a lot of loss.
Yeah.
In like a very
Yeah.
short period of time.
yep.
And do you find out when you're in jail still? Like, is that when you find out
Mhm.
about her?
Yeah. Yep. My mom called me. Another friend had called me. And Esno had actually visited me in jail to make sure that I knew what was going on, which was nice. I felt like that was super nice of him to do, but also it was just like sad to hear it all over again. So my mom goes, gets all my stuff from this apartment, and I get out and I get high again. Then I tell him myself this time, and I'm like, Shannon, I fucked up. And that's my PO. I was like, man, I really messed up again. And she's like, you need to do something about it. Like, get in treatment now. So I went to treatment on my own. I went to Hope Valley Recovery for detox, and then I went to another program. It was called Hope for Tomorrow at that time, but I ended up graduating from base camp. And that...
And so did you start to put forth effort into your recovery at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Was that like the point where you like started to like do stuff?
I buckled down completely. I got a sponsor.
Instead of just like white knuckling it, you're like taking suggestions and doing the things that
Yeah.
are recommended basically.
Yeah, I did all the things. I just sat still I ended up, I was at a meeting with my sponsor, and I haven't heard from Aaron in a couple days. And at this point, I'm like 3 months sober, so I haven't heard from Aaron. It's been 2 days. That's super weird. Like, we're always together, always talking either way. You know what I mean? And I text his mom, and I'm like, hey, I think something's wrong. I can feel it. Like, can you just please go check on him? Usually I would never do anything like that. Like, if I just felt like he was knotted out or something, I would just let that go. And,
You had like a gut feeling.
oh God, and it was like, I had to get a hold of his mom. Like, I felt it in my soul that something was not right. And I had felt it the night before, too. It was almost like I knew immediately. And I told my friend, and, my roommate at the time, and I'm like, Court, I don't feel right. And she's like, it's okay, he's fine, don't think like that. Don't think like that. And then I called his mom. She's like, all right, I'm going to go over there. And then she called me back, and she's like, he's gone.
Wow. Mom found him?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then another one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Screamed.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's crazy. Like,
It was terrible. He was my best friend. I always had high hopes for him because he was so smart.
and like what he OD'd.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the guy that was selling the meth, right?
Mhm.
So how'd he he ventured into the fentanyl somehow too? Damn.
Yeah. So that was recent. Like, that was a year ago in February. So,
Yeah.
Have you stayed sober since?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Well, congratulations on
I,
that, because that's tough to do with all the loss.
I've made recovery my whole life today because I've had a lot of loss, and even I have another friend that had overdosed and is like having to do like rehabilitation to get back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not fun anymore. It's not like how it used to be when we would party back in the day or anything. It's just
People
you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
You will die at some point.
It's funny. I was talking to someone about like how somehow recovery has become my entire personality, and I don't love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like there's more to Lewis than just being sober.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I have a little bit of time, but I don't know. It's interesting hearing you say that, like, and I get it, because in the beginning, for me, it was the exact same. It was like, I have to stay sober. Recovery has to be my entire life. And it was. And then, you start to get things back, and you start to get, a job and an apartment and a car, and then you start juggling all these balls, and, you build a life. But in the beginning, it's extremely important that recovery is everything. Because if you don't have it, you lose it, then
And it was
you lose
crazy.
everything.
It was like God started to make me listen whenever I went to treatment that last time. And little things started making sense in my head. And
You could hear
yeah, clearly.
the similarities.
It wasn't just like a wah, wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah, wah
yeah.
in the background anymore, It was like I felt it. I got goosebumps in meetings. And then it became like my new normal.
Yeah.
I got a sponsor, did the step work, did all the things that was asked of me. So here I am today.
And here you are today.
Yeah.
You remember when I ran into you at Maryhaven?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was how early in recovery were you?
I think it was pretty early.
I think you were right in, because I remember you came in, and I saw you. I was like, I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
Because I heard some stories.
Yeah. That was my first lead, so I must have been like 8 months
Yeah,
sober. I think I had finished my step work, so I was doing my lead, but...
I was very happy to see you, because you're always like...
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, the stories I heard, I was like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And then like see you then now
Yeah,
taking it,
yeah.
like grabbing recovery by the balls and working it. man. Because now you
Yeah.
work in recovery, right?
Yeah, I work
At the
in
same
recovery.
place you went through?
I went to detox there, yeah. And then when I was 8 months sober, I had gotten a job there, and they let me. And they give you chances there, and it's a beautiful place. Love, care, and compassion at its fullest, you know. I love it there.
Tell us a little bit just about your life today, you know, now that
Um,
you're sober. And you know, obviously, I'm sure like we know a lot of it is recovery, but, you know, tell us a little bit about your
Yeah.
life.
I work on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I work in a recovery setting. So I'm able to talk to clients and give them hope. I tell them, hey, I was just here like last year,
That
pretty
feels
much.
good.
Yeah.
And I tell them, like, you know, just don't give up. Just sit down. And you can see the wheels turning. You can see the light coming on, and it's beautiful. That's why I'm like, I haven't moved to a different position.
It also
at my
helps
job.
you
Yeah.
stay sober,
Yeah, it does.
you know?
Yeah.
Like talking to another alcoholic is the one thing that works 100% of the time, in my opinion. So to be able to do that on a daily basis probably is really helpful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So,
You ever have the days like, man, I really do not like this job, and then
Oh, yeah.
followed by like, oh, that's
This is
why
why.
I do
That's
it. That's
amazing.
why I do it. Yeah.
Yep. I get that sometimes because, you know, I'm a grumpy
Mm-hmm.
person when I wake up. So, I usually get that as soon as I walk in. They're like, hey, Miriah.
You're like,
And I'm
"Ugh."
like, oh, you know, this is why I got up this morning. You know, it makes you feel special
Yeah.
I ask
and like
this
you're making a difference.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I ask this question a lot. Are you happy today?
Yes, I am the most happy today. I have a lot of things that I look forward to. I have a lot of things that I never in a million years thought I would have.
Gets better.
Yeah.
Gets so much better.
It does.
It's unbelievable.
I have like real happiness and real emotions today.
Yeah.
So,
Well, girl, I am tickled pink to see you sitting before me, and
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks.
proud isn't even the word, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well done. Thanks for coming on, for taking your time, and I mean, being raw,
Yeah.
sharing all that.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
All right.
That's it.
What's your mom doing nowadays? She's sober still?
Mm.
Good for mom.
She's good.